What is going on, everybody? I am back with another watch review. On the tabletop today I have a Seiko watch, and for those of you who have been living under a rock, Seiko is a very well-known watch company and manufacturer, and this is the Seiko Prospex SRP09. This is the limited blue Lagoon version of this. This has been lovingly nicknamed by the Seiko fans out there as the Samurai. And let's go and take this out and take a quick look. And let's get the box out of the way. All right, so here it is. Now I haven't had this watch for too long. I just picked it up maybe about a week and a half ago. Very beautiful watch. I was actually surprised to actually get my hands on one of these, since these are selling out kind of like almost immediately. This limited edition, I believe I read online, I think they only made 6,000 of them in the world, and I managed to get my hands on one. Actually kind of a stroke of luck, so a little bit of backstory. I was actually at the watch shops and just going between a bunch of boutiques and stores, and you know, just I wasn't actually thinking of buying anything. I was purely going there to take a look at the Seiko Turtle, and then I ended up looking at other watches too, and not limited to like Tag Heuers, Hamiltons, Raymond Wales. Heck, even Casio G-Shocks. I was like all over the place looking at watches, and Tissot's, and then of course Seiko and Citizen watches. Now I ended up I was just about to go home, so I decided to go to one more place that was nearby, and they had a couple Seiko turtles in the window. I said, oh, okay, I'll just drop in here. It was my wife at the time, and as I was asking the employee to pull out the turtle for me, they had two colors there. I saw this at the corner. I was like, oh, I said, is that a Seiko Samurai? And the guy goes, yes. I was like, oh, well, you know what? I definitely want to take a look at this. So after about 15 minutes in the store looking at this watch and the Seiko Turtle, I decided to get this one instead. This is probably a lot better buy and a lot better looking than the Turtle, in my opinion. So a little bit more of a backstory. The Samurai was released in 2004, I believe, is what I read online. It featured different hands, so that's the one thing I was going to point out to a lot of Seiko fans out there, is that the hands are, they don't look like that. These are hands brought over from the Seiko Monster, and a lot of fans are screaming that was, that was not true to what it was originally. And while I would have liked to have the other hands, this is just perfectly fine. This is very legible, which I'll show you later on, also in the darkness, because Seiko is known for their looms. The other thing is this watch case is slightly larger, and Seiko says this is 43.8 is what they advertised. The original Samurai was at 42. Now, as a personal preference, I would have preferred a slightly smaller watch case, just because my wrists are small, and plus, there's no reason to have like a ginormous timepiece, on your wrist. So, but let's just go around and take a look at this really quick. I have to say, this is an absolutely beautiful watch. The different, geometric shapes, the knurling on the bezel here, the knurling on the crown. Oh, by the way, the original Samurais did not have a crown guard, at least the normal versions didn't. And in order to get the crown guard, is what I've read, you have to buy the limited edition titanium version. Now, I believe all the new 2017, and of course this is a re-release of this watch, feature crown guards, so no longer need to get any of the limited editions, so to speak. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. This is what I read. Now, for those of you who are more versed in Seiko's history and Seiko model lineups, please correct me if I'm wrong. And to caveat this overview is that I am not a watch guy, as you may have heard on my previous watch reviews. So this is purely just from what I read online and my user experience. Now, what makes this watch special is the fact that it has an angular case, and you don't really see this very often in the watch lineup from Seiko, especially on their divers, because most of their divers happen to be very curvy and fluid. For example, like the Sumo and the Turtle, especially, just very curvy watch cases. This is very angular, very industrial looking, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It's not too tall, and your cuffs could slide over this case pretty easily. As you can see from the side here, it is more angular than normal, but your sleeve could go right over the casing here. The crystal is recessed, and it is Seiko's Hardlex crystal, so not as good as sapphire, but again better than mineral. So pretty comparable, especially for me, because I'm not going to be taking this in the water and diving, anything like that, you know. The bezel is very nice and smooth. There's 120 clicks. Let me bring the microphone closer here. Hold on. You can see it's not a very loud ratcheting sound, which I find some of the Invictas do. It's rather annoying. And this one lines up just perfectly. There is a little bit of play in the bezel, you know, but hey, whatever. It works just perfectly fine. I've used this for timing on several occasions. Love the really dark, deep blue along this 45-minute timer here, and then the teal or whatever color this is, light blue teal color that lines the first 15 minutes. And of course the sunburst dial. Let's take a look at that. So you can see there's a little bit of depth to the dial here itself with the sunburst. It has a date complication on there. I'm sorry, a day complication on there, and of course ginormous lume indices all the way around. And even the sweeping seconds hand has a little bit of a lume at the needle, and there's a bit of yellow to kind of offset the blue on the seconds, and of course the quarter indices here, 12, 3, 6, and 9 marks. And a little bit of high polished metal surrounding each lume, so it's actually rather beautiful and understated look, and I love it a lot. And of course, a lume on the timing bezel here, right at the 12 mark here. But the bracelet is very robust and industrial. It is solid end links, extremely heavy actually. I had this on a blue leather strap, and it lightened the watch up considerably. So occasionally I'll probably swap this bracelet out for that strap instead, and you know, because you know, the blue and the blue, and then a bit of silver popping out really shines through, and I love it. I love the way it looks. But it is solid end links. Get a case of or shot of the case back here for you. So for those you guys that are more interested in the movement, this is a 4R35. And on the back, it does say limited edition. It's got the Tsunami logo on there. You got I think that's your serial number down here, along with the Prospex logo. Shiny metal is really hard to video and photograph, so I'm sorry about this. Here's a bit more detail on the knurling of the crown. Of course, it's a screw-down crown, obviously, being a serious diver. And the crown is unsigned, but I do like the fact it has a little bit of brushed and then high polish. I mean, it's all over the case. You got some high polish here, right? You see my finger, and then you got the brush here. So it really serves to give a little bit of definition and contrast to the individual links of the bracelet. And then you got your kind of more or less just generic fold-over clasp, and you got a button for the deployment. And of course, you got your diver's extension here. Let me show you that right here. Let's see if I can get this out on camera. There we go. So you just pop that out, and then you instantly got about a 3/4 of an inch extra, possibly, for to go over your wetsuit, which I probably won't be having on, you know, because I work in an office. But yeah, just a really beautiful watch, very understated. Let me show you this on my wrist really quick here. That's probably the only thing I haven't shown off yet. Okay, so as I said, I had kind of a small wrist. My wrist is about 7 inches around, and it's really, kind of almost dwarfs my wrist a little bit. Not too bad. Luckily, the case kind of thins down because of the angular lugs here. Oh, by the way, I believe these are 22 millimeter lugs. So if you could buy the appropriate width straps. Anyways, so it does slope down a little bit, and so it actually wears a little bit smaller than 43.8. Again, I wish it was 42, you know, like the original, but hey, whatever, beggars can't be choosers. I'm just really happy I got the watch in the first place, but it is getting a little too large for me. It's I don't know. I mean, I'm not Flavor Flav. I don't need a giant timepiece around my neck or around my wrist. So, but otherwise, you can see how robust that bracelet really is. This is massive, and it's so chunky and heavy. I feel like I'm lifting weights every single day. And I sometimes throughout the middle of my day, I feel like I need to move this watch to my right arm to give my right arm a little bit more quality. So just to give you a quick comparison, I have here, I love diver style watches, but you know, in trying not to buy too many styles of one, or too many watches of one style, I have a Hampton Crosswind here as well, and this is an aviation style watch. And you see how much more busier the aviation style watch is compared to the diver's watch. This has a slide rule calculations and all that kind of stuff, and of course this also has a chronograph and a lot more buttons. This one, the Samurai, is just so simplistic, and I love it. The dial is uncluttered, and as I get older, I prefer to go for these uncluttered dials. Where years before, I loved these kind of like overly cluttered, overly detailed watches for some reason. I find telling time on it slightly bit more annoying than it is on these more cleaner dials. So going forward, I probably will buy more watches like this, kind of like field watches without a chronograph function, or just diver style watches, or you know, just very clean everyday watches, kind of, you know, just office style watches. I don't know. Anyways, I love the clean dial of the Seiko Samurai, and I don't know, it just feels uncluttered. Now the Crosswind, I believe, comes in at a 45-46, so it's a massive watch. And just to give you a quick comparison of that, when I put this on my arm, you can see that it totally takes up my entire wrist. I mean, it's like a Big Ben clock right on my my wrist here. So, but I do enjoy wearing it because it is very comfortable to wear, especially with this thick leather strap on there. But at the same time, I can't deny the classy and beautifulness of a bracelet, metal bracelet. So, so that's a quick shot of that. Let's go and take a look at the lume. I'll be back. I'm going to charge this up, so hang on just a second. Okay, so as you would expect, Seiko is excellent for lume. Even the semi-lit area, you can still tell the lume is very, very visible. Let's see if I can get rid of some of the light here. So, without as much of light, it is exceedingly bright. It is very, very legible, and you can tell the lume pip at the 12 position, as well as the sweeping seconds hand there is all loomed out. Even the little sliver next to the date complication, or the day complication date window, is you know, lit up as well, and it's very, very legible. You can instantly glance down, and you can tell it's a little bit past 6:31 right now, and yeah, it's you know, just nothing less of what I expected from Seiko, and they've always been known for their lume, especially on their divers watches. So, and this will last a good chunk of the night. I know I wake up in the morning in a dark room, and I can still see a slight faintness of the lume, so it definitely lasts a long time. Truly remarkable, I mean, to me. So nothing short of what I expected. Okay, so in short, I love this watch. If you guys have not been able to tell from my video so far, a few things is I wish it was the original size of the 42 millimeter. I do wish the hands were like the original, you know, the 2004 release. But hey, you know, I guess they had to do something different for the 2017 re-release. I have seen several different color options for this, specifically the smoke one, which has like a black dial, black bezel, and then kind of a gray first 15-minute mark. It looks really nice and sleek. And that's another one that caught my eye. But, you know, when you want a little bit of a color pop, the blue one is a way to go. I think the regular non-blue Lagoon version has a black dial with a blue outer timing bezel, and I think a slightly darker blue, I believe. I can't remember, but they do have multiple color options available if you could find them, because I can tell that these are going to sell out like hotcakes. And you know, like I said, there's only 6,000 of the Blue Lagoon ones to be made, and you know, the rest are, you know, because of being such an iconic model, this is probably going to just be gone by the time you watch this review, possibly. I think eventually in the future I will want a Seiko Turtle. Not too sure yet. That is actually slightly larger on my wrist, so I don't really know if I want to buy one, but I don't want to buy purely for my collection purposes, because I do wear my watches. I like to, you know, be comfortable wearing it. And when I put it on the store, the Turtle, that is, it was slightly larger than I really expected. I think it came in at like almost a 46, I believe, with the case curving outwards over the bezel, whereas this one thins right around the bezel. It's like actually underneath the bezel, if you can tell, chamfers in a little bit. And so it does wear a lot smaller than the 43.8 that Seiko advertises. So anyways, again, I think I will come back with a 6-month to 1 year follow-up and let you guys know what my experiences are. But so far, I am loving this watch. I'm going to be wearing it on the bracelet and the blue leather strap as well. And let me just set this down. So if you guys have any questions or comments at all regarding this, or, just let me know how I did on the review, or if you want to watch more, watch reviews from me, please leave a comment below and, just give me your thoughts. So aside from that, take care, have a nice day, and I will catch everybody on the very next one.